Well, viewers, on to our top story this week. Just 4 weeks after Trump announced the tariffs against India, he has come out with a fresh set of tariff tsunami. Every day there is yet another tariff announcement that comes in from Donald Trump. Because for Trump and his administration, weaponizing global trade seems to be the only route and the only tool to address everything that they've promised. From their campaign promises to their big political goals, everything comes down to just weaponizing trade. Now, what are these latest measures? They've been about announcing a 100% hike with regard to specific duties on specific products, and that includes pharmaceuticals. In addition to pharmaceuticals, there are several other categories as well. That includes furniture, fitted furniture, upholstery. Several of these items now, viewers, is labor intensive in nature. And that's important to note, because in all probability, Americans will struggle to find domestic alternatives to these options, because it's unlikely to be as cheap as some of these are, which are being manufactured in Vietnam, in China, in India, and then being sent across and exported to America. Now, American consumers will probably be, in all likelihood, the real loser, because some of these labor-intensive options are not going to be available. In Donald Trump's mission, I must correct the international trade order that has been what he feels completely unfair to American economics in the last 30 years or so. But in the end, it's going to be the American consumer that will stand out and be the real loser. I'm going to now tell you more about the pharmaceutical space, where there has been a fresh tariff that has been levied. And I'm also going to tell you why is it that this time around India is not going to be impacted very majorly, very significantly. Let's put that out for you to understand. Now, there's a 100% levy that has been put on pharmaceuticals, that's correct, but that doesn't include generics. That's the most important part. And India is not manufacturing. In fact, the major bulk of it is generics that India manufactures, where 75% of its exports are largely generic in nature. And those that are not, which is the remaining part of it, you have a lot of our major pharma companies actually producing locally in America, and that is also likely to be less impacted, which is big Indian pharma companies have set up shop in America. But the last and most important part, which needs to be identified and pressed upon in detail, viewers, for you to better understand why this time around, this is not an India-specific tariff. Unlike the 50% that was imposed, which was a Russian oil, because we were importing Russian oil, and therefore we should have an extra 25% levied only on us, this time around that punitive tariff is not there, targeting only India. And that is the single biggest distinction that needs to be kept in mind when we talk about this. This is something that Donald Trump is trying to only protect the American pharmaceutical industry, and hoping that the American consumer will finally see the wisdom in what he's trying to do.